Hello, and welcome to the Simplified Organization podcast, the Christian homeschooling podcast for busy moms who are looking for practical help in managing their homes, families, and lives for God's glory. We want to keep it real without complaining, and we want to help women overcome overwhelm and perfectionism that comes from playing the comparison game. So today I'm joined by my friend and community member, Rachael. Rachael is the wife to her best friend, mom to two crazy boys, lover of God, seeker of Jesus, pursuer of people, and very active in both Simply Convivial's community as well as the Scholay Sisters sistership. And we very much appreciate that. So welcome, Rachael.
Thank you.
What do you have going on in your life these days?
Oh, goodness, these days. So I have a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. So we're doing year 5 with Ambleside Online and sort of kindergarten, which involves a little bit of reading lesson, a little math, a little game, skip bow. Of course, he's trying to talk to me now.
Yeah, you probably got it wrong.
I probably did. Let's see. We run a Lego business, so we sell Lego by the piece. Younger and son, that's a lot of fun. That has been keeping us busy. Christmas has started to pick up now.
Yeah.
I also work part-time online project where I align educational materials and state standards. So life is busy. We're involved in our church. I lead a Charlotte Mason community here, which is pretty loosey-goosey, but we try to stay connected.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, lots of spinning plates and different kind of pieces and parts to keep managed. And so I know sometimes when there are all those different parts going on, it can feel like the kids or other people are interruptions and getting in the way. So what would you say to the mom who's easily irritated?
I would encourage her to look again at her priorities. Look again at what is she putting up at the front. I got nicknamed Evil Rachael early in our engagement time when my husband and I were still engaged in our early marriage, because then this is when Rachael gets very goal oriented and I'm going to get my task list done. Yeah. And I'm not going to bother with other people. And let's just say my husband could nickname me Evil Rachael, but my kids were not willing to put up with it. And they get in the way. And it's about, I guess there's an aspect of growth, my own pride in having to set that aside and say what I planned is not so important, that it's investing in them. Years ago, I was introduced to 2 types of labor: reproductive labor and productive labor. And we look at productive labor all the time, right? People earning money, doing something, producing goods. And then you have reproductive labor, which is the investing in people. You're taking care of somebody. You're a caretaker for a parent. Maybe you're a nurse in a nursing home. We look at those, and sometimes we have a hard time seeing the labor and the value in that. And so having those, when I get all irritated, when I'm getting unhappy, I'm frustrated because school's not getting done the way I said it should be done. And I didn't get these chores done. And I didn't get I can say it's okay, because that's productive labor. And today might not be a day for productive labor. Today might be the reproductive labor day. And that's the advantage of having these concepts. Hubby comes home in the evening and he says, "So what'd you do today?" "Oh, it was a reproductive labor heavy day." And so he knows, it was that kind of a day.
But that's still a positive spin. It's acknowledging that it was good. It wasn't, it's so easy to slip into the list of things I didn't do.
So easy. I mean, I'm such a list maker. I have my brain dump notebook. I have my weekly dashboard. I have my little random list pad here. And I love to mark those things off. I will write things down just to mark them off.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some days in which, what do I write? What do I write down? Fought with 5-year-olds for 45 minutes to get the trash emptied. I mean, that's not something you just write down. Usually, I don't know, maybe I need to write those things down, right? And mark it off because I did it. And so keeping in mind, sometimes the things on the list are not the important things.
Mm-hmm.
And that perspective seems to be it.
Yeah. There have been days where I've written parenting on my list after the fact. Like, what did I do today? I was a parent today. It turns out that's
Yep. There are those days. The other thing that really plays into it, I think, though, and I got this idea many years ago at the Leading Well retreat, being the oaken door. Be the oak door. We have oak trees around in our yard, and we can talk about how hard they are and how tough they are, and it doesn't matter. I can say, here, child, take your stick and go get your frustration out and whack the tree. The tree's not going to get hurt. It's that tough. And learning, and it's taken time. It takes iteration, practice, getting back on the wagon. I am going to be that oaken door. I'm going to be that door that is made of the oak, that doesn't matter who wails on it, who hollers at me, how many tears there are, how many you are such a bad mommy and you ruin everything. That's okay. I can handle it. I'm a bigger woman than that.
I like that. You'll thank me when you're 30. Sometimes I just tell myself that, like, they don't have to thank me now. They'll thank me later.
I have to remember that also. I don't often think that way, but I need to even say that. But you'll thank me when you're 30.
Yeah. So true. Yeah. So I love the different categories, because sometimes when we give things an actual name, that helps so much to just have those categories. And the reproductive has that at the beginning of it to remind us that it's the repetitious work. It's the repeating.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like moving forward, but it is growth.
It is. It is. And I did not come up with those. Sybil Schwarzenbach, she's the philosopher that came up with that idea. I just read an article by her and found those words and grasped hold of them as lifelines.
This is so helpful when we find those things.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Simplified Organization podcast. There is so much to do at home, and with the different plates that we have spinning, it's hard to keep track, and that's why we keep looking for answers to get more organized. But often those answers are not what we would expect. Try taking my quiz and find out your organizational score. Not only will you get a score for how organized you really are, you will find out at the end the 4 basic steps that you need to take to get organized in ways that really matter. Not color coding files that you only use once a year, but real practical organization that makes a difference in our day-to-day. Just go to simplyconvivial.com/quiz. That's simplyconvivial.com/quiz, or find the link below to take the quiz and find your organizational score. And don't forget to join us for part 2 of my conversation with Rachael Younger, where she gives an attitude mindset tip that you can use every day in your home as a mom. I'm excited to share that part of the conversation with you next time. And until then, repent, rejoice, repeat.